We're gonna start in 5, 4, 3, 2.
And welcome back to the Ascendance XR Summit. Hopefully, you're still hanging in there with us. We've had so many amazing panels and talks thus far. And today we're going to get into a very interesting topic. We're going to discuss about revenue streams inside of the actual VR space. And we have an amazing, amazing, amazing gentleman here today. Mark's first. Thank you so much for being here.
Hi there, Alana. Glad to be here.
Yes. So the particular topic that we're talking about today is called Pixels to Profit, how creators are unlocking revenue streams in digital realms. So some of the things that I would love to get into with you is your background inside of this space and eventually make our way over to how you became profitable inside of this space. So if you don't mind giving the audience a little bit of background about you.
Absolutely. So my real name is Mark, and I go by Mark's Verse inside the metaverse. Kind of apt, right? I am the owner and operator of a company called Immersell. The name kind of speaks for itself, immersive selling, right? Immersell. And I currently operate exclusively in Meta Horizon worlds. And what I do is I have a very unique and hyper focal point on trying to enable VR commerce, just like e-commerce, but in the virtual reality world, in Horizon Worlds. And hopefully one day I can expand that to other platforms, to the true, borderless metaverse. But what that means is what that means is I currently have two unique services I provide to, business owners. One is I help business owners design and build a business presence in the metaverse in Horizon Worlds. I always think of that as a unique skill set that probably no one today, not including myself, knows the full breadth and scale and scope of it. Because when I think about building a business presence in the metaverse, it has several unique things. One is you still need to understand the human psychology and the just like real lives customer flow management, because whether your customer fly, walk, teleport, you still want them to be able to walk through a design path of the store that it covers all the merchandise, whether it's digital, whether it's actually physical in the real world, all kinds of merchandise. You still want the customer to be able to see and explore all these.
Well,
But
we're definitely
also,
going to get into your sales model. We're definitely going to get into that. But let's sort of work through it.
yeah,
So when
sure.
we had a prep chat backstage, we sort of talked about how each of the creators who are participating here in the Ascendance XR Summit see Web3. How would you
Mhm.
define Web3 in one or two sentences?
I see. Well, Web3 to me is quite. I have a slightly different understanding than I guess, the mainstream understanding of it being, decentralized, being, on the chain, being, verifiable that way. While that's all true, I view that as a result of a particular technology, which is blockchain's technologies, um, merits or result of that. How I see this is Web3 is a natural progression, a natural next step of Web2. I mean, duh, but hear me out. Um, so what I mean by that is, in my world, in Immersell's world, when you think about how we are shopping online today, you usually go to a 2D flat website that you kind of scroll down, scroll through all its products. The context contextual arrangement in there is limited. The opportunity to interact with the product, with the brand is limited. And Web3 kind of enables us to dive into that world the brand wants to establish for you. So that to me is the natural next step for where we are right now, which is Web2. Hence, I see that, I don't see that as a mythical thing, the metaverse, whether it's going to be true or not. I don't really think about that as much, I guess. I just believe in that's the natural next step of commerce online. So
And I think
that's why.
that's great. So you've gone from acknowledging that most people do online shopping right now in
Correct.
traditional Web 2 ways. They're used to flat web pages. They might even be using apps on their phone right now. But those
Correct.
are all controlled by larger conglomerates, or they're going through mainstream channels. People don't really have a large sense of ownership and autonomy. That's where
That's true.
Web3 comes in.
That's
So
true.
if you could, I would love for you to go into a bit. What are your viewpoints on ownership and autonomy as it pertains to Web3?
I would say that Web3 brings a lot of freedom for, I myself am a small business owner, right? Web3 brings a lot of freedom, a lot of fast opportunity to quickly iterate on ideas, and ultimately being able to take ownership of that idea and I guess make something for myself. So I can't really speak for the whole metaverse goer community, I guess, but I am one of them. I'm in the middle of it, and that's how I feel. So I definitely feel the freedom that Web3 is trying to create. Maybe not in a traditional blockchain monetary sense, but definitely in a lot of other aspects of it.
And I think that's beautiful. A lot of people often focus just on the blockchain, but there's so many other components that come into play with Web3. So moving right along, when did you first start exploring anything inside of the Web3 space? Could you touch a bit on your journey in December 2021 and what happened?
Oh, absolutely. So my birthday is in December. My wife got me a Quest 2 headset as a gift because I've been just like telling her, hey, I wonder if that thing is any good, or what does the Web3 world, what does the VR world look like? It just, like day-to-day chit chat. And she remembered it. She bought me a headset. Shout out to my wife. Thank you, Cynthia. So ever since I got that headset, right? So I started to put it on for gaming. My favorite game till today, I myself am a gamer like for a long time. So naturally, when I first pick it up, I go for gaming. My favorite game till today is still Beat Saber. I think that's also a lot of people's favorite. And then since I do own a Quest 2, the next natural thing is to explore what Meta has to offer. And that kind of brought me to Meta Horizon Worlds. And because I always believed in, having a commerce presence is the key to any place, any system, any platform thriving. I mean, if you go to like all the way back to like ancient IRL towns, if that town is by the sea, if it has a port, if it can do commerce, that town will thrive. Same idea. If for any platform, if you can do commerce there, it can thrive. So that
I
kind of
think
got me into the Immersell journey.
That's definitely part of your journey. And I would love for you to touch a bit on, you've mentioned to me before that you got the idea of in metaverse shopping from Ready Player One. Can you touch on that a bit?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yes. I just like any metaverse enthusiasts, I love Ready Player One. I guess as a movie, as a storytelling, it may or may not have any flaws. I cannot see it, right? I just love it because of the world it painted for us, right? And specifically, I was really my attention was really attracted by the probably a 10-second scene of when the main character Percival, I think it's his name, um, got awarded his first key, a bunch of in-game money, and he went to the store to shop. In the store, you get to buy like game equipment, and also real life equipment. And that store's vibe, again, 10 seconds, I wish they would expand on it, right? But I must watch that 10-second clip for so many times. That store's vibe, that store's like every product that kind of pops up, that has the introduction, has the ability to attract you to buy it, really clicked with me. And I think that, hey, that's the natural progression of the next step of commerce. And that kind of solidified my idea and direction of going to a venture that ended up being Immersell today.
No, I think that's amazing to be able to watch a movie like Ready Player One. And anyone who hasn't seen that movie, it's a very forward-thinking, futuristic movie. It can be a little dystopian at times, but it gives us a different vantage point of what it would be like to live in an alternate universe using tech. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. So my next question for you would be, how did you first decide to replicate that thought that you had watching that movie clip? How did you integrate e-commerce into a virtual world?
Thank you. Thank you for that question. I will try to make it short. I mean, I can go on and on, right? As I was saying at the beginning of the interview, right, I have two part of the service today. The second part that I didn't get to mention at the beginning is that the actual e-commerce capability that I can provide to business owners in Horizon Worlds. But that part of the service didn't come right away. Like I didn't just snap my fingers like, hey, I just dive into this platform. I already know what this platform needs. Like that did not happen, right? I'm not superhuman, although I wish I am. What happened is I was really focused on creating a good metaverse applicable shopping environment, shopping world for business owners. My first customer is B Organics. She kind of took a leap of faith on me. I was doing it for free for her, so technically not a customer, a fun project, if you will. So I was helping her building out her first store, and I put a lot of time and effort in it, and it looked pretty good. But then I quickly realized that, hey, no matter how good you can make the store to be, you have the gamified component, you have the aesthetics, you have the psychological component, and the customer flow management all done, right? Then what? That world at its best stage, it's a marketing opportunity, and a very isolated marketing opportunity, because until today, Horizon Worlds does not offer any API or any SDKs for us to be able to, and that's for their own product reasons, I understand, but still, for us to be able to extract any information within the game to outward, to help the store owner to process that traffic that they gained through that world. So I'm like, can I do anything about it, right? So it's only through that click, through that moment, through that click, and then I start developing, and then finally I came up with a system, fully legit, by the way. I'm not breaking anything, but I'm able to help store owners to directly funnel traffic that landed in their store world to their e-commerce website, to their newsletters, to whatever other information they want to share with their customers.
So if you could, we've chatted a bit about this before as well. For the viewer at home watching the Ascendance XR Summit right now, they might not know exactly what goes into building in the way that you're talking about it. So we're in this alternate universe, and you're using what skills, what tools and what credentials? You mentioned it took about 100 hours or so to build out some of your earliest prototypes. Could you go into the skills you needed and why it took that amount of time?
Absolutely. I would say the primary must-have skill is actually your willingness to devote your time in it and your willingness to trial and error, right? I am a project manager by trade, so that kind of helped me on managing different components, helped me prioritize stuff, ultimately helped me land any ideas that I have. But I don't actually have any specialty in, like, say, 3D graphics, in Unity, Unreal. Um, I graduated as an electrical engineer, so I have okay ability to program, not not even adequate. I'm like, I get by, right? So all of these are definitely bonuses, but they are not hard requirements. And you talked about me spending 100 hours building my early prototypes, which I did. Basically, what I did is, before I had any customers, I imagined there is a customer, so I sort of built out this store for this imaginary customer, and I did all the building. I sucked at it, right? So I just keep going. Every day after work, after dinner, I'd be sitting there with my headset on, till a point my wife's like, I kind of regret giving you that gift. I want some me time, right? But I just kept going. And even with 100 hours spent, I'm not a builder. I still suck at building, right? But that is enough to get me started. And so that's why I said the actual skill set you need to you must have is that idea and the will to land that idea.
And that's regardless of what platform it could be on. So the next
Correct.
topic that we're going to talk about a little bit are some of the industry insights inside of this space as pertaining to e-commerce. What would you say are some of the major challenges and opportunities for e-commerce that you've noticed in the metaverse as opposed to a traditional 2D website?
I see. That goes back to a little bit of the store building part I was describing and why it is hard. Because I was describing the part where, human psychology gets brought into the metaverse, because we are still us, right? Whether we have a different avatar or not, we still are us. But at the same time, you got to balance that between the interesting and creativeness of a metaverse universe can offer you, right? You don't need to worry about physics, right? You don't even need to worry about cost. Then under that environment, how do you be extremely creative? You can create an entire world as your store, but at the same time, focus all that noise back down to what you are actually doing. You actually want to sell stuff. You actually want to, make profits. So that's definitely one thing. And the second thing I would say is, at these metaverse platforms capability today, there are definitely types of products that's suitable for having a presence in the metaverse than over others. For example,
Like
if
what
you are
type of
selling,
product?
sorry?
Like what type of products?
Right. So for example, you are selling, let's say, some type of clothing, a skirt, a t-shirt, and things like that. And they are not the type that has a huge brand logo on it. You just want to support that brand, support that creator, so you buy it. It's not that. It's the type of things that you actually want to buy it because it looks good on you. You want it to look good on you. Then that type of product actually does not suit, or can be in the metaverse, have a metaverse presence today, but might not be the best, because what do you do if you want to buy a cloth? You want to feel it, what kind of material it's made out of, right? You want to try it on. Does it fit? You want to see if it actually looks good on you physically. And the metaverse technology today does not yet allow you to do that, right? Very reliably, because it would be your avatar trying out a replica of that physical shirt that you actually want to buy. On the other side, if you have products that people are really comfortable buying online already today, right? For example, concert tickets, for example, like a pet goods, pet food, pet toys, and stuff like that. You don't really need to, it's a pet toy. It's, like they are always almost the same, aside from the appearance. Then yes, those would be the products that's more suitable, and even more so for digital products and services. For example, if you're selling NFTs, if you're selling classes, right? The stuff that does not have a physical presence anyways, then they are extremely suitable for the metaverse commerce today.
So what percentage mix would you say of products that you sell in your store, how many are phygital, which is both physical and digital copies of an item, and how much is it service-based?
I don't currently own a store. I had that, I had a trial store, and for different reasons, I decided to turn it down. But within all my customers today, I would say all of them actually are all of them are either physical or phygital, right? So there are like, don't think of the metaverse being digital, so you have to sell anything digital there. I have a bakery that's working with me that sells baked goods that can be shipped all over the US within a couple of days, right? And they will stay good, they will stay tasting good. I am working with a brilliant music artist. Shout out to Yo Afro. She is kind of like this first music sensation I've ever known that blew up in Horizon Worlds. But anyways, yes, she is using my service to sell her album, which does not have a physical shape, but also her digital T-shirts and assets. Basically, if you buy it, you will get an in-game asset along with a real-life T-shirt. She will send it to you. So yeah, most of them are either physical or digital. So use your imagination. Think about if the customers really wants to feel this or try this on before they purchase. If not, they are basically all suitable.
Awesome. So as we come to a close, I sort of want to have you give some advice to individuals who may want to go on a similar trajectory as you. They might not have a technical background. They may have a technical background, but what would you say are some of the first steps that aspiring creators should take if they want to be able to sell inside of the metaverse, either physical, digital, or service-based?
I would say the first thing they should do is really dive into any platform of their choice and explore, right? Understand what kind of demographics come to this platform, what kind of activities do they engage in, and what kind of crowd are you dealing with, right? And then you would get the first idea of if that platform is for you and for your product or not, right? That's kind of what I did. For the longest time, I didn't just jump into Horizon Worlds and start building, start working on my business. I was just hanging out. I was at Soapstone. I was, just wandering around, doing world hopping, just checking out all the whatnots, and then I came to understand that there are real business struggling, trying to have a functional presence in the Horizon world, which nobody seemed to able to provide. And then the idea kind of built on top of itself, forming the Immersell I have today. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, no, this has been a phenomenal chat. Anybody looking to explore inside of the metaverse or learn more about Web3, stay tuned to the Ascendance XR Summit. There's so many more amazing talks coming up. Thank you so much, Mark, for being here. How can people connect with you if they want to follow along and interact with the services that you offer?
Oh, absolutely. So, and thank you, Alana. Thank you, Ascendant VR for XR for having me. This has been really fun, and finding me is easy. I do most of my information sharing on my Instagram. I go by Mark's Verse, Mark's Verse, all one word, Immersell, Immersell, my company name, or you can just go to www.immersell.co, and I'm there. Talk to me, right?
Perfect. This has been awesome. See everyone later.
Thank you. Bye.